You're originally from New Orleans, and of course, you had to move during the time of Hurricane Katrina out to Houston. Tell me what that experience for you was like. How that kind of changed you as a person.
One of the main things that changed me as a person, it was like, don't be materialistic, And so right before Hurricane Katrina hit, it was, it happened in August. So before that, of course, the summertime. And in the summertime, I worked for, I used to work and stuff like that to make some money. And I worked to get some brand new Prada shoes. I don't know if y'all Prada, the name brand Prada, right? And Prada was a big thing back in New Orleans. And I worked, I worked for, summer to get some Pradas and stuff like that. That's what everybody kind of was wearing at the time. And I remember, man, I had them Pradas and I left them. I didn't bring the Pradas with me. I left them. I left them in New Orleans, and basically, all that. Like I had just got them. I left them, and then a storm hit, and it was gone. And not only, I mean, that's just something small, the Prada shoes and stuff like that. But literally, like everything could be taken away from you in a second, And that's why, like, that's how now I'm just not materialistic. Like I literally, I mean, it's nothing. Like for me, it's nothing nobody can take away from me, like besides like my nothing materialistic. The only thing that I really care about is things in this office right now is like my pictures and my books. But I got a real big house, and bro, this house get knocked down and I can get another one. I can get everything else, So it's like for me, the memories, the pictures, my books, my boxing DVDs, that's the only thing that I really care about. So I'm just that's what like Hurricane Katrina taught me. Just don't be materialistic. And because like I said, when we went back to that, we was like some of the first people in the East. I'm from New Orleans East, and basically we went back because my cousin stayed on the West Bank, and they had access into the city because they lived on the West Bank. And so they told us how to go around certain things and how to go. And we went, and man, just seeing a neighborhood like that, seeing our house, like it's crazy. It's scary what water can do. Like just water. And it just pushed everything around. Like our house was like everything was just all around. Like our stuff that was in the kitchen was a living room, stuff that was in my room was somewhere else. It was just crazy. The couches was flipped over, TV was flipped over, refrigerators flipped over. It was scary, to crazy and scary to see that. I saw houses, full houses get moved just from the water. Like a house was picked up and you see the slab, and then you look down the street and you saw that house, and just seeing those type of things, it just made me like just not materialistic. And and then of course moving to Houston, it just put me on a whole different, it put my mindset on a whole different thing. Because in New Orleans, most people like that I came up with, most people that live in New Orleans and from New Orleans, they've been there their whole life. They mamas and daddy's been there their whole life. Their grandma and grandpa been there their whole life. Their great grandpa and been there their whole life. So we don't see nothing else. And when I came to Texas, when I came to Houston, it was just like it was a shock, a culture shock, because I went to like in my high school in New Orleans, like I think we had like 500 people in the school, something like that. Like everybody kind of knew everybody. And that's how it is in New Orleans. The city is like that. Everybody kind of knows everybody in New Orleans. But I came here. I graduated. I actually went to 5 high schools because of the storm, but I graduated out here in Texas. And man, like it was like 5,000 people in a high school out here. So it was a huge culture shock. You got people that they from countries, like I had people in my class that was from countries I never even knew existed. In New Orleans, everybody, generation after generation. So it's not that big of a deal. But when I came here, it was just like a culture shock. It just really opened my eyes that the world is way, way bigger. And and then just Houston as a whole. Houston is one of the most diverse cities in the country. And I'm so glad that I got to immerse myself in this
Yeah,
culture.
and it's kind of crazy because I feel like Houston was such a blessing for you. But fast forward, I saw that they gave you the key to the city in New Orleans. What was that experience like for you, knowing everything that your family's been through in that city, to what you went through to now, and getting that key to the city?
I mean, it's just it's a blessing. It's an honor to get a key to the city. You know, it's a lot of, you know, it's only a few people in history got the key to the city, and just for me to even be one, man, that's you know, it's just it's a great feeling. If you'd have told me when I was, you know, 12, 13, 14, that man, you'll get the key to the city one day, you know what? I probably would believe myself. I would say I wouldn't believe, but I probably would have believed in myself, because one thing I always had as a child was a belief. I just, maybe it's a cockiness, maybe it's a belief, but I have that in me that, like, I always believed that. I used to look, so one person I always look up to is like Lil Wayne, and it's because I used to see Lil Wayne coming up. Like, he used to be around the corner from my house when he was, you know, lit, like Hot Boy Lil Wayne and stuff like that. And I used to see him when he was you know, when he was like a teenager and stuff. And I remember he used to drive Ferraris and stuff like that to high school, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be like that one day. And it just, when you see that, it just does something in your mind, like I can do that too. And it's the same thing that happened here when I got to Houston. I went to a boxing gym, Savannah boxing gym, and you know, it was Juan Diaz at the time. He was, you know, undefeated lightweight champion, 3-time lightweight champion. You have Iruslan De Lara, Ricky Dial, Holyfield was there, Shane Mosley came in the gym, Oscar De La Hoya came in the gym. You seeing all these people, it's just like you have, I mean, these are mega stars, especially in boxing. And you look at these people, and it's just like, man, like you think like I could do this too. Especially you start sizing them up, you know, you start seeing these people, you're like, he the same size as me. You know, you look at Oscar, you look at Shane Mosley, you look at, like, damn, they're the same. They did all this stuff, you know, because on TV they're larger than life. You know, they make hundreds of millions of dollars, and you know, they just so big in your eyes. But then you see them in person, it is just, it does something. It really does something to you. It does something to your mindset for sure. And that's what happened to me. I just really, you know, that belief in myself. I always believed in myself since I was young, but then once I got here and I really saw that, then it went even higher. And then, you know, the Charlo twins, that's like my brothers. You know, matter of fact, I was with Maul last night, and, you know, they made it. And it was like that belief even got even higher, you know.
So as you're ascending and doing all that, I wanted to know, even before, like, what eventually led you into boxing as you're, you know, going through everything that you've told us about, like, even as a child. And was it something that, like, this is my way out, or I'm really good at this, I should pursue this because this is my best option? Or like, what is it that kept you into boxing? And was it just like you were saying, you know, watching the people around you sort of reach these heights that you were like, hey, I can do that too, you know?
Yeah, it was both. It was like my way out. Like, one thing I always want, I'm not gonna lie, I always wanted to be rich when I was younger. You know, I used to hear like, I always wanted to be rich, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I used to hear my mama always say, you know, I can't afford this. I can't afford this. And I used to hate it. I used to hate it. Like, man, she's like, I can't afford this, and I can't afford this, and this costs this, and this costs this. And I couldn't stand it. Like, I hated it, you know. And then coming to find out though, like, we wasn't even that poor. Like, I talked to my dad, and me and my dad is cool now. And I talked to him about things when we was younger. He said, listen, we wasn't poor, you know, but it was just a mismanagement of funds, basically. You know, I'm not gonna say who to blame for that, but, you know, it was a mismanagement of funds. We wasn't poor though, you know. But I used to hear people like my mama and just my cousins and my grandma, like, oh, that's too high, and I can't afford that. And I was just like, I hated that. I didn't want to be like that. And I used to look at rich people and like, that's what I wanted to be. So when I was younger, I always knew, like I said, when I was younger, I saw Lil Wayne. I saw his success, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do that some type of way. But I'm not an artist or nothing like that. I'm an athlete. So I played every sport. You know, I did first off, I did like soccer. I did karate. I did football, basketball. I ran track. I swam a little bit. You know, but boxing was just different. You know, but I did all those things, and when I did all those things, that was, for me, that was my way out. I wanted to play football. I wanted to be a running back. I wanted to play basketball. I used to want to be like Allen Iverson. You know, but, you know, boxing was like, this is it.